Well guys, I have owned this 2021 F-150 hybrid for 6 months. So in this video, I want to give you an owner perspective on what it's like to live with a truck like this. The top 5 things I love, the top 5 things I hate, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get going. I'm gonna start with my top 5 things I love, and the first thing is this. It's the power plant. It's a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6, made it to an electric motor and 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque. You guys know the specs, but I also tested it at 0 to 60 here at a mile above sea level, and here's what happened. Okay guys, so I went 33 miles. And I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 acceleration right now. So far the trip meter says 30 mpg. I switched to sport mode, 4-wheel drive high, and advanced track off, and traction control off. No way! No, that can't be. 5.61. This is a fully stock truck. There's absolutely zero modifications. A mile above sea level. That is very fast. That's still very incredible. Yeah guys, this truck is very fast. I love that. The second thing I love is actually this, the inverter system. I paid $750 additional. It's an optional 7.2 kilowatt inverter generator system. And at first I thought, you know, 750 bucks, it's okay. How many times I'm gonna use it, I'm not sure. And then this pleasantly surprised me every single time. I've mowed several yards by powering some of my lawnmower tools and weed whackers with this. And then we also actually charged the motorcycle while hauling it in this truck, and also charged an electric car while towing it with this truck. This turned out to be very, very useful, and it works every single time with no error messages and no hiccups. Number 3 in this top 5 things I love about this truck is actually the efficiency. And you might be wondering, well, are you going to just talk about what the EPA says? Well, no. Let me show you what exactly this truck is getting. So I filled up 209 miles ago. 26.6 is what this truck is saying. And look, 574 miles left. And this was mainly driving, a little bit of mixed driving, a lot of city, but also many highway miles. You can see about 5 hours and 47 minutes to put on about 210 miles. So that's a mixture. Yes, that may not be as accurate as what it says, but still, in my experience with this truck, after about 3,800 miles in 6 months, is that if I don't step on the fast pedal, it's actually a quiet, efficient truck, and I've been able to go about 700 miles on one tank full. Although, I have to tell you this, I am using premium fuel. I'm trying to treat this like my baby, and 91 octane right here, right now, is what I'm using exclusively. Number 2 on my list is actually the technology that's built into this truck. I'm a little bit of a tech nerd. I love technology, especially some brand new stuff. I like to be on the bleeding edge of things, and this truck has it. Although it's an Excel work truck, it has Ford Pass app integration. It's got a lot of different cool features, including monitoring, and I can see, you know, my oil life, my tire pressures. I can get over-the-air updates. So this 2021 truck is equipped with everything for the coming years to come. So I love that. And one of my most favorite things about this truck is how I can accessorize it very easily. It is a very common full-size truck. I purchased this box. It was available straight away. I added F-150 LED light bulbs to some of my lights already. That was very easy and painless. The tailgate is now, I added this dampener to it, which was also labeled as a 2021 F-150. But look, it interfered with this little tie down, so I had to take it off. There's a tie down on the other side still. So it's not truly a 2021 type deal, but the tailgate now doesn't slam. I also have a tonneau cover coming, which is really cool and inexpensive. And I also did this. I replaced that giant factory antenna with this aftermarket one. But the point is that I have many more options, including suspension, wheel and tires. Speaking of that, let me transition to the top 5 things I hate. Number 5 on the list of things I hate is this tire package. And you're probably already writing comments. Andre, it's been 6 months. Why haven't you upgraded the tires and the wheels? Actually, I like these Steelies, these 17-inch wheels. I actually kind of like the style. The tires are good for on-road use, on highway. They're really quiet, but they're not truly FX4 tires, in my opinion. These are Scorpion ATRs. I took them off-road in the snow. They did not go well at all. And of course, that's my fault. These are not winter-rated tires. But in general, when I'm buying an FX4 package truck, which is an off-road package, I expect the tire to be more aggressive and maybe larger. This is still about a 32-inch tall tire. So I'm going to be changing that in the future for sure.
14 degrees out here. It's pretty cold. Fahrenheit. Make that very clear. Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Okay, I put this truck in 4 high and also selected deep snow mode, which is what I'm in. So hopefully that will help me on the way up this hill. So I'm gonna approach this a little bit slow, and then I wanna try to...
Oh, Andre, it's the same thing I did.
A lot of lateral movement. Okay, so the slow motion didn't help me. So maybe now let me try a little bit more momentum.
Taking a different line so he doesn't hit the tree. Good line, Andre.
Oof. I did brush the tree a little bit.
Not so good. Luckily he hit the branches and not the main bark.
Number 4 on my list of hates is actually the way that these hoops are attached to this factory hitch. And when I put my trailer chains on this, I'm using these extensions because it's really hard to see and actually reach these factory connector points here for the chains. So that's my dislike, and you probably know this because I've talked about this for months and years already ad nauseum. This truck does have pretty good payload, about 1,700 pounds of payload and about 11,000 pounds of towing. But towing, that's my next issue. I have towed my 6,000 pound boat with this truck several times and fairly long distance, about 100 miles at a time. And then I did that gauntlet that you may have seen where we tried to tow 10,000 pounds with Mr. Truck up and over Vail Gauntlet or Vail Pass here in Colorado. And the truck is rated for 11,000, 10,000 pounds. It's still within those limits, but not at higher elevation, it turns out. So the truck started to overheat. The transmission was getting hot, the coolant was getting hot, but the truck actually, and this is kind of a good part, actually derated itself, saved itself, and it's still running and driving just fine. It's still as efficient and smooth as ever. So overheating, not so good, partially my fault. Saving itself is good, actually.
Power reduced to lower engine temperatures. The reason
Oh, are we... Look at the temperature gauge. We're full hot.
Oh, okay, you're right. You're right. I was trying to figure these out.
The coolant...
Transmission's running a little hot too. So what do you think? Do you want to pull over and rest? What do you want to do?
No, we're almost done.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, guys. It's 80 degrees outside. 81 degrees outside.
But you're not in the red on either gauge. The transmission, you're getting closer to it, but you're not in the red on your engine or your transmission.
Keep going, keep pushing.
I am. I'm wide open throttle at about 55.5 miles an hour. And see, that's the thing with that bigger truck, bigger engine, the diesel, it's so easy for it to accelerate. It's very easy for it to maintain speed. Where this one, it's working. It knows it's working.
So it cooled off a little bit. The temperature lowered.
Yeah.
That's why maybe it wasn't giving us full power because it was getting hot.
This is one of my personal gripes. Next on my list is actually this button right here. It's a button to open the fuel door. And I'm not sure why I hate it so much. I've been going to the fuel pump. I get out. I run over to my fuel door. And if it's closed, it's really closed. You can't open it unless you hit that button. And I know it's been done like this years ago, decades ago. But why make it more complex than just opening it easily? And it's a capless system. Not quite sure why that extra step was needed. I don't like it. And number one on my list of dislikes have to be the headlights. And one more thing I'll show you in a second. This is an XL truck, like I said, and the headlights are very basic. They're not great at night, just not super powerful. I'm thinking about upgrading the bulbs, or I don't even know if I can actually go to 4 LED lights, because there's a lot of different wiring and packaging that has to be adjusted for that. But this could be better for a work truck, especially a work truck that works all night and all day. And one other dislike that my family has told me about, because they're riding around in the back seat as well, is the lack of air vents in the back seat. Because this is a base truck and because it's got a 6-person configuration, this is that 6 jump seat, that's actually pretty useful. There's no additional vents here. There's some vents underneath the seat. That's good in the winter. But for air conditioning, there's not a lot of good ventilation here in the back. I promise you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the ugly part has to be, bar none, is the rusting axle here in the back. I haven't actually sprayed it yet. You can see it hasn't changed much in a few months. It's just some surface rust. Ford says it's only cosmetic, no functional negative effects. But it's a brand new truck. It should not have surface rust. At least in the first year. It is ugly. So after all of this, would I buy this truck again? Would I make the same decision? I say yes. I think the benefits and the positives outweigh the negatives I just showed you. I did pay sticker price of around $51,000 for this truck. That price I thought was pretty high, in February of 2021, but turns out because these trucks are very scarce, that price was actually not too bad. And yes, I would do it again. I would buy this hybrid and enjoy that power and the efficiency that it has. And as always, go back to tfltruck.com for all the latest news, views, and real-world truck reviews.